You know what it's going to be like if you don't start. Like if you don't make the change, you're not willing to make the change. You know what your future is going to be. You're living it. So just start and progress.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the now named Becoming 1% Better podcast. I'm your host, Coach G, and I'm super excited about today. We have Brian here in the building. Brian has been working with us for a year, on a year here coming up next month. And I'm just really excited, man, to just share his journey with you guys. This guy has truly dove in, man, not only in the sense of like his results, but just the approach he has, his mindset he has, and the things that he's doing now compared to what he was doing before. I just learned that he has done this a year prior, but we're going to get into all that. But I'm really excited to have Brian here because, my whole purpose of these interviews is to put somebody in front of you guys, man, that is in the fight, has been in the fight. I've been in the fight myself too, but Brian is somebody that, has really recently completely decided that he wanted to get healthier, to become better. And he has really gone all in this past year and even before that. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
All right. My name is Brian. I'm early 40s, and I started working out around age 34. Then I started it is when I was at 240 pounds, and I didn't realize how bad things were getting. I thought as you get older, you have back pain. This is just the normal progression of being older. And I remember playing a prank on somebody, and we filmed it, and I watched the playback. And then I just saw how big I was. And I was like, I was getting ready to go into size. I was already size 42. I was getting ready to go up a size bigger. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm just too young to do it. So that's when I started making a change. And I was like, okay, get a gym membership, start small, do 3 days a week, and we'll see what happens. I wasn't consistent. I absolutely wasn't. I would fall off for a couple months, go back. Same thing with my running. I would start running, be consistent for about maybe 2 or 3 days, fall off, get back on, fall off, go back. And that's just kind of how my cycle was. And that's where the journey was like, okay. Had my first back problems. I ended up having to get injections on both my sides to get it to recover, lose weight, watch your diet, get better. Okay, fine. Went on for about 2 years, 3 years. Happened again. And then on this time, it was watch your weight, get your diet in order, and now you're pre-diabetic. So now I started freaking out. Between the time I started at 34 to where I'd been at for the longest, I was holding at 220. So that was only 30 pounds in the span of, 3 or 4 years. Like something had to change. So cut out sugar, cut a lot of stuff, weight drop, went down to 200 pounds. Okay, cool. Knew I wasn't getting where I needed to in the gym. Still have been going to the gym for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Would not touch a free weight to save my life. Scared to death of dumbbells, scared to death of the bench press. Wouldn't do it. A new family member from you. Actually, I worked with your mom for several years at the airport. And right around COVID, you came up with a free fitness program. Online app, you just sign in, you join, and that was it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. I got nothing better to do. Gym's closed. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's try it out, see what happens. And I died. I think I made it through half of your first program, and I don't know what it was. I think it was like burpees or something, and I was like, no. No. So I knew I needed to change. So then once everything started opening up, I reached out. I said, hey, I'm interested in learning what I can. And I think when I started, I told you I was only going to be here for 3 months. Yeah. Like that was it. I was like, no, after 3 months, I'll learn enough and I'm done. It's a year. Clearly something has worked really well. And I've been a part of this process and I don't know what to say. I absolutely love the changes it's made. I love the more motivation it's given me. Your staff is absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed my journey with PSVR as far as I've come so far.
That's good, man. That means the world to me, honestly, you know, because obviously there's plenty of gyms, plenty of coaches out there. So knowing that, first of all, my online program killed you.
Yeah, oh.
And second of all, you still came back for more. It means a shit ton, bro, because, you know, I love this. Like I love what we get to do. My staff loves what we get to do, and it genuinely means a lot to us for somebody to choose us. So, and seeing you dive into the program and dive into literally everything we've given you, right? Like we literally, it's like we're like, hey, Brian, we need you to do this, and you're like, got it, and you literally just do it, bro. And getting literally clients that come into this, that ready for change. Right? That ready to like really dive in and say, okay, I'm hiring a professional. They obviously know what they're talking about, right? Let me just do. You have seen an immense amount of results, right?
Oh, yeah.
I really want to talk more about like, okay, you've been with us for going on a year, and I want to ask you like, what has been some of the things that have been the most challenging for you in the past year?
So for me, starting out was being consistent, staying on track. My meals for the beginning, because I was eating whatever. Like I was going to the gym and I justified my meals based off, oh, I went to the gym. So it wasn't uncommon for me to like, oh, I can have 2 cheeseburgers, I can get fast food, I can get all that junk food. And then I can justify it because, oh, I'm going to the gym, not a problem, nothing bad's gonna happen to me. You can't do that. That was probably the hardest lesson I had to learn is like, no, your diet matters the most. Like you can go to the gym, you can do whatever you want all day, lift weights all day, but if you're eating trash, you're just gonna feel like trash and you're just not gonna progress. So getting the diet in order and then getting consistent, and building up a schedule. And that is the one thing that I will give PSVR props for. When I started out, I was only going to the gym 3 times a week. And I told you, it was like, that's all I was doing, 3 times a week. And you're like, okay, well, what's your stretching routine? Well, you need to stretch every day. So the program got me started to stretching every day. Then it got me to going to 3 times a week. Then it started going to 4 times a week, then 5 times a week. And then we started running. And I made this dumb mistake of saying I wanted to run.
The dumb or the greatest mistake ever.
Yeah. And now I have running 3 times a week. And I started off with simple sprint sets. And I think when I started my mile was something like 13, 14 minute miles. I mean, now I ran 3 miles this morning at a 10:15 pace.
My guy.
Like, that's the progression like you make. And you don't even realize it until it happens because your victories here are just phenomenal. Like you won't believe, like sure it's like okay, but you take everything into consideration. I'm early 40s and you're talking about such a gap between when I started to where I'm at now to where when I was doing this by myself for the years prior, like I wasn't getting those results because I wasn't consistent. So building up the consistency, slowly, gradually going from, oh, you're starting at 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I'm up to 70 pounds on deadlifts. And
Let's go.
like, I couldn't bench press anything more than, God, I think I started off at like 50 pounds and now I'm up to 120. So you see the progression and being willing to do the progression and not say, well, I can't do it all at once. Screw it. Knowing that it's going to take time because not everything you want is going to be there right when you want it. It's something that you have to build up to. But yeah, that's been the most challenging is just getting locked in, getting focused and telling myself that, you know, just because you don't see it now doesn't mean you're not getting there. Like every time you are just getting a little bit better, and it all pays off.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into the overall mindset of perseverance. Like, 1% better every day. Right? When you start looking at those gradual victories, at those gradual progressions, the journey starts to become a lot more fun because now you're just not caught up on like the big picture, right? I want to get to this weight, or I want to get to this pace, or I want to get to this. It's like, man, yesterday I had this pace, and now today I have this. And then the next day you're like, oh shit, I was able to get 10 more seconds off of it.
Yep.
It just starts becoming so much more fun, so much more engaging because now you're like focused on today. Right? How can I be better today?
And it changes you. Like, you don't realize, like, before, if I was on a trip, I wasn't worried about, like, oh, I'm on a trip. I don't have to worry about what I'm eating. I have to worry about working out. It'll be fine. It'll work itself out in the end. And I'm like, now I'm like, okay, what sort of gym is at the hotel? What equipment's going to be available? X, thanks to him, gave me a nice little remote workout program that I can do in a hotel room with what they have. And I'm making sure no matter what, with what I am doing, how do I incorporate fitness into what I'm doing so I don't lose the progression and fall back to where I was. I want to keep going better and better and better. So your whole mindset of like when you start to where you get to is absolutely amazing. Things that you before like were the most necessity part of your life, they're not anymore. And you kind of realize that as you go on, like, where do you want to be? Do you want to sit here and just sit, watch TV, play games? Or do you want to get out there, go hike, see the world, have the movement, have the ability to perform, have the ability to lift? And that change has been the most shocking to me. Things that were my whole life now are completely different than what they were almost 2 or 3 years ago.
I love that. And that's the true meaning of progress. Right? Most like the whole definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And from what I'm hearing from you, like, dude, like all of these changes have become your life now. Like you used to be a person that worked out to lose weight. Now it seems like you're a person that works out because you're a fit individual. Like fitness is just your lifestyle. You're just somebody that's fit.
Well, I wanted to like ultimately, I started off just to get better, and weight loss was kind of like, okay, it was kind of a priority. I just wanted to get stronger, and that's it. I just wanted to get stronger. And then like I said, when I made the mistake of running and saying, yeah, I've been thinking about running, and that same day I said it, X is like, hold on, I got you, right on the app. I didn't even leave the door, and it was on my app, go run. And then now it's like, okay, how much can I lift? How much can I move? And then how fast can I get? And even then, like you can see the progression going from 12-minute miles, 11-minute miles, and then 11:30 or 10:30, and I'm like, oh wow. And then even then, making it difficult, running sprint sets. I hated mobility day and then seeing sprint sets. Hated it. You think about when I started, it was only 100 yards to start with. Now I can run half a mile sprints.
Let's go.
And I'm like, and you don't even think about like when you do it in the beginning, you're like, oh, I got to do this again. I got to do this again. I mean, I wish for the days I could go back to just a 100-yard sprint. Got it. No problem. We did my run when I did my first mile in under, you remember? I think it was like 9 something. Straight mile under 10 minutes.
That's
and
solid.
Thought I never would be able to run a mile in under 10 minutes. Yeah. And I broke that, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'm stronger, I'm faster than I thought. The weight, going in and just picking up the weight, and you're like, oh, I couldn't lift this ago. And you're like, oh, okay, I can move this. I'm like, all right, so let's see what else I can do. And just build on that progression. It's just an amazing feeling. And I think that's what kept me going with PSVR is I want to see how much further I can take this and see how much stronger and what I'm physically capable of doing.
I love that. And that's me 100%. Like that's where I'm at. That's my mindset. I mean, you guys, you know this, right? Like I'm still trying to push the envelope, bro. Like I'm still trying to figure out how much further I can go. Because as I just told you, like I still got a long way to go, bro. Like, and that's the beauty of it. It's like there is no limit to how healthy we can become.
No.
How strong we can become. How fast we can become. It's just how much effort are you willing to put into it to become that. And that's it, bro. Like anything is possible.
Yeah.
you know, I love it, dude. I'm so proud of you too, because as I said, you know, like seeing you come in first for that assessment and like, you know, the way you came in, you're a different person, bro.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, like the way you present, like it just, you're different. The confidence, you're more you, right? And that's how I like to see it. Like when you're more confident, you can actually genuinely be yourself, right? And I love that, dude. That's the biggest thing. So if I really want to try to get, what would you say your biggest wins in this journey have been so far?
Biggest win, my favorite, I think my most favorite win I've ever done was I wanted to do pull-ups. Now, my entire life, I never could do a pull-up. Never could do a pull-up.
Those are hard. Most people can't.
Like, never could do one. Like, tried multiple times, never could do one. So, and I see you smiling over X. You know, he knows the story. So I was at the gym, and part of the program was learning how to do pull-ups and using bands. I'm sure you've all seen the video of someone getting stuck on the band because the band slipped, gets around their foot, and they get stuck there.
At least they didn't hit the McNuggets.
Yeah. Well, so it happened to me. Luckily, I had one of the people that was going there. I had my brat with me, who was there with me when it happened, and she was no help. She was on the floor laughing, thought it was the funniest crap ever. But their only way to get out of it, like, you have to get your foot out of the band. So the only way to do it is, like, you have to pull yourself up. And then I was like, okay, well, let me just see if I can just wedge myself up and it'll be fine. And the next thing I knew, my head is over the bar. I don't have anything supporting me. It's just my muscles pulling me up. And I'm like, oh crap, did I just do a pull-up? And I just freaked out. And then I like put down and I just stopped. And did I just do a pull-up? And Jay was like, yeah. I was like, we got to do this again. So I took the band off and filmed it. And I think the first thing I did was send it to X. I sent it over to my trainer and like, does this count as a pull? I think it was like, does this count as a pull-up? And you're like, bro, you just did a pull-up. Thinking like, I never thought, even in my youngest years, never thought I'd be able to do a pull-up. And here I am at 40 doing pull-ups in a gym. I didn't expect that to happen. There is no way I was like, that's going to happen. Yeah. And I did. Like, PSVR has been there for some of my best accomplishments. Breaking a 10-minute mile, to just flat out and go and break a 10-minute mile, to go from, oh crap, I'm running out of weights in the gym because it only goes up to 75 pounds and I've only got like one more set of dumbbells and I'm done. Like, then what do I do? Yeah. Just to go from the start of like, 10 pounds is so heavy, and then just progress has been absolutely amazing. I can't thank you guys enough for the encouragement, for one, from everything that you guys have done. Because even then, like on days when you can't get the sets done or someone's using the machine, or the machine's broken. Yo, X, this is busted, what do I do? Oh, easy, go here, do this, and just keep track and just keep going. For you guys to do it is, you're just trying to help me. And it's up to me if I want to accept that help. And now, like when I started, I was always like, oh, well, you can make excuses all day, every day, but you're still going to get the same results. So buy in, get locked in, and watch how fantastic you can become later.
That's huge, bro. That's a lot of wins, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot of wins along the way, and that's why I really wanted to emphasize on that for people, because so many times, and okay, let's talk about the weight loss really quick, right? Because there's been a shit ton of wins besides this, but how much have you lost so far?
I came in with you guys at 200 pounds, and now I'm holding consistently at 170. And at the 170 level, like, I'm able to lift. It's not just losing fat, it's gaining the muscle in the process. So yeah, I've lost a lot of weight, but now I'm able to lift more than I could ever before, which is fantastic to me. Like,
and I think 20 something pounds of that is fat, right? Like 20.
Yeah.
So it speaks volumes, man. Like, you know, I do want to celebrate that, but I wanted to emphasize on the other wins first, right? Because I think so many people miss those, right? Because they're so focused on just that number, right? Like that coming down, that they forget, like, dude, I'm getting faster. I'm getting fitter. I'm getting stronger. I'm running out of weights at the gym.
I know.
Right? I'm doing pull-ups, bro. Like, those right there, dude, are like such huge milestones that when overlooked, right, and you're just focused on the one outcome, right, it makes this journey so daunting because you're just focusing on a number, right? But when you can really take yourself back and zoom out and look at all those small victories, right? Then you start craving more of those small victories, and it just becomes fun overall, man. So I'm really proud of you, dude, and I can't say that enough. I know I've said that probably about 10 times today, and I'm going to continue to say it another 10 because I know how hard it is. It's hard for all of us, bro. Like, this shit's hard for all of us. You just build disciplines and routines that help you stay more consistent and more disciplined with what you're doing. But it's still hard. I still crave cake. I still want to sit on the fucking couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
Right? But because it's become such a lifestyle and such a routine to me, and I know how good it makes me feel, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the couch, dude. I can't say fuck on YouTube. I'm sorry. That's fucked up. But yeah, dude, it's huge, right? Now, I want to ask you, like, what keeps you going?
The consistent, like, the progress. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have bad weeks. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I did not want to be in the gym. You're going to have them, but then you look at, like, even on your worst day in the gym, you're still getting better. And maybe you can do one more rep. So you did one more rep when last week you couldn't, or you could lift 5 more pounds when you couldn't last week. So no matter what, you keep getting better, especially with runs, because I never thought I'd be a person that wanted to run. And to wake up at 4, and I'm absolutely miserable before I get started. Okay, well, I ran one of my fastest 5Ks this morning compared to 2 months ago. So you just keep getting better, and that's the progress. Like, I want to see how much better I can get, and that, I think, is what builds me up and keeps me wanting to keep going. Because I keep improving, you keep getting stronger, you keep getting faster. So now I kind of want to see where the limit is. You're only here for a certain amount of time. There's one quote that I love. It's a lot better to be the oldest person in the gym than the youngest person in the nursing home. And I'd rather be the old guy in the gym busting my butt.
Holy shit.
Than not being in a nursing home, being the first person in who can't move and can't walk because I didn't take care of myself when it mattered the most. And that's why I keep going.
Bro, that quote right there just hit me in the gut, bro. I've never heard that before, and that is so, like, powerful to think about.
Yeah.
It's insane. And that's huge, man. When you can really start craving just wanting to be better, what can stop you? Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
Because then it pours into every other aspect of your life. I'm sure you've experienced this, right? Where, like, relationships, you're like, where can I be better? How can I be better? Right? Your home, your whatever, your career, all that stuff.
Well, you stop making excuses.
Yeah.
You just stop. I used to make excuses all the time. Why I don't want to go to the gym. And then you run out. You're like, well, you could go like yesterday. You can go this time. You got time. Like, there's no reason not to make it a priority. And then what else am I making excuses for? Like, do I need to make an excuse for this? I'm like, no, you can do it. So just do it. And just keep going.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
I love it. My next question, which we kind of already touched on. We kind of already really did. But I really want to ask you, man, like, you know, as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, like, there's plenty of gyms out there. There's plenty of coaches out there. So to us, it means the world, honestly, dude. Like, I can't say this enough. I'm very passionate about this, and somebody choosing us to help them in their journey means the world to me. So I just really want to ask you, man, like, what are some things that Persevere has helped you with so far? Like, how has Persevere helped you in your journey so far?
So it's the education, right? So I started off a lot. I mean, you went to a gym. Yeah, I looked at some of the online stuff. Okay, I really didn't understand it. So it's making those connections that I wasn't getting. Understanding a lot more of things, more than just like, oh, I researched this, and like you guys really connected me with a lot of information and then taught me how to use that information, which before I had no idea. I couldn't even fathom it. To go from when I started here almost a year ago, do your first body scan, do the first mobility, check out, okay, this is where we need to focus on, this is what we need to do, and then go from there, is you guys started and hit the floor running. Instantly downloaded the app. I knew where my nutrition was coming from. I knew what I needed to start with, where I needed to log, and what exercise I needed to focus on. Cool. And then as we kept going, then we went from like, okay, some of the basic stuff for beginners to like, okay, now we need you to track your macros. Now we need to make sure, are you eating enough protein? Are you even eating enough food to begin with? What's your diet look like? And then making sure that I'm not only eating, but I'm focusing on the body parts that need to be focused on, because I didn't know what a split was. I think when I would go to the gym, I was doing a full body 3 times a week and everything was sore. Now I know, okay, isolate these muscles for one day, isolate this, and start doing splits and everything just builds. Everything builds on top of each other, and you guys like set the foundation and all of it, and you put all the pieces together, which I don't think you get from anywhere else. I don't think you can come into a place. I've got a friend that went and did one of the other gyms, and their trainer just wanted him to go through, do the exercises, and that was it. And then we'll track you sometime later. You guys are actively involved. We have weekly check-ins to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to. How do my workouts go in the gym? Maybe what I need to lighten up, what needs to go heavier, how to progress from there. And just having that in your corner is phenomenal. Like if I can text X at the gym and be like, X, okay, I can't do this. This machine's down. What's a sub? Try this. Okay, they don't have this. What's a sub? Try this. Okay, do this. To where I keep my reps, I keep the program going, and I have someone there that's helping you go through that process is absolutely amazing. Like, I don't think a lot of people fully understand. If I was still doing this, I did it for 6 years. I didn't even come close to these results in the 6 years that I was doing it compared to just the 11 months I've been with you all right now. Like, I couldn't even come close. Like, it's worth it. Like, that's what I have to say. It's just worth it.
That's awesome, bro. If I heard you correctly, like really education, accountability, support, and just a true educational understanding of why things are done a certain way. And that means more to us, because that's literally part of our mission, is not just to help people, but to educate people so that they're equipped to take this lifestyle on their own. And I genuinely believe that, and I stand behind that, and that's literally our focus with everything we do. So you saying that to me right now, man, means so much to me, because that is our goal, man. I don't want you to need us forever. Now, I have some clients that have been with me for, 7, 8 years, but it's because they love being with me, not because they need to be with me, not because they don't have the knowledge to take this on their own. It's because they like the push, they like the accountability, they like the support being there anytime they need it. So that means a lot to me, man. And I'm grateful. Again, I can't say that enough, dude. Thank you for trusting us, and I'm excited to continue to see you progress and continue to kill it, dude. This is just the start, right? Like, we're just getting started. I see you running a marathon here pretty soon.
Oh, God.
We'll see. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later.
The last question I really have, man, and I really appreciate you taking time to do this, man. I value your time. So last thing I really wanted to ask you, man, is if you had one piece of advice for somebody that's on the other side of that screen right now, that is where you once were, right? Unhappy, not confident, couldn't look at yourself in videos. If you had one piece of advice for that person, what would it be?
Start. You know what it's going to be like if you don't start. Like, if you don't make the change, you're not willing to make the change. You know what your future is going to be. You're living it. So just start and progress. See what you can do. Don't sell yourself short. Make sure that where you want to be is where you want to be. So if you don't start making the changes now, you're already feeling it. You already have the effects. So start now, make the change. Worst thing you can do is stop. But if you don't start, you're never going to know what you're going to be able to become. You're never going to know what changes are going to be made.
I love that. Start. Like that word alone right there, when it comes to any journey really, like whether it's a business, a fitness, a new career, whatever, man, like so many people never go after those things because they're just not willing to start. And I'm proud of you, bro.
Thanks.
Because you started and you're continuing and you're pushing and now you're hungry to see where that envelope can get you, right? How far can I really push this? And it's crazy because, as you said, you know, in age, like you're in your low 40s, right? And you probably feel better than you felt in your 20s and 30s. I'm
in jeans lower than where I wore in high school.
Insane.
I was at size 36.
Insane.
I'm wearing size 34 now. So I wear smaller jeans now than I did when I was in high school. I'm running faster now than I could in high school. I can do more lifting now than I can do. I'm in the best shape I have been at in my 40s than I've ever been in my 20s, which is absolutely amazing to think about.
Yeah. No, that's huge, bro.
Yeah.
And it pours into everything else, right? Because you feel good, you perform good, you have energy. So I'm proud of you, bro. And I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm proud of you, seriously, because I know this hasn't been easy.
No.
It's been a journey, and it will continue to be a journey, right? But at the end of the day, man, as we said, it's all about just reaching for becoming 1% better every single day.
Correct.
And you've instilled that. Like that's just who you are now, and I love it. So proud of you, bro.
Thanks.
Thank you for taking your time,
Thanks for having me.
No,
Appreciate
of course, bro. Thank you for doing this with me. And guys, again, dude, like I will put Brian's information, his Instagram down in the bottom, so you guys can give him a follow his journey. Again, he's been crushing it, man. And as he said, man, if you're on the other side of this screen right now and you can see yourself where he was, just start. That's it. So, thank you guys. Catch you on the next one. Let's go.
Cool.
Let's go. No.